So today, we are diving deep into Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's incredible debut novel, Purple Hibiscus. It's this really powerful story about family, faith, and what it takes to find your voice. It's about the journey from a suffocating silence to, well, to freedom. And it all kicks off with the sound of something breaking.
Right from the get-go, the book throws you in. There's no gentle introduction here. Nope. It starts with an act of violence. And that single sentence, man, it just shatters any sense of peace and drops us right into the tense, fragile world of the Achike family. It tells you everything you need to know. In this house, even something holy can become a weapon.
So, let's step inside this world of silence. At the very center of it all is our narrator, a 15-year-old girl named Kambili. Her whole life is completely dominated by her father, Papa. Now, this is a man who's a hero in public, a pillar of the community, but an absolute tyrant in his own home. Their house in Enugu is just filled with this crushing, heavy silence, where every single move is dictated by fear.
And this is where Adichie's writing is just wow. She has this way of showing the completely twisted nature of love in this family. And nothing shows it better than this little ritual Papa calls the love sip. It's this moment he shares with his kids where he offers them a little sip of his scalding hot tea.
I mean, how chilling is that? For Kambili, love and pain have become the exact same thing. Affection from her father is literally a searing, burning feeling. But she accepts it. She accepts the pain because in her world, it's the only proof of love she's ever really known. It's such a powerful metaphor for the abuse she's living through.
And this absolute control, it gets taken to a whole other level with the schedules. Seriously, Papa maps out every single minute of his children's day. There's absolutely no room for them to make a choice, no space to just breathe, no freedom at all. Every single action is planned, and if you step out of line, even a tiny bit, oh, that's not just a mistake, that's a sin, and sins get punished.
But things are about to get shaken up. A military coup throws the country into chaos, and because of the instability, Papa reluctantly lets Kambili and her brother, Jaja, go visit their auntie Ifeoma in a university town called Nsukka. And this journey, well, it's going to blow their world wide open.
And the difference between these two worlds is it's like night and day. You have Enugu, which is all about those strict schedules, that crushing silence, and constant fear, all symbolized by the fiery red hibiscus flowers in their yard. And then you have Nsukka. It's a place filled with laughter, arguments, freedom, and a very special, rare, purple hibiscus.
And if you want to understand the difference, this one quote says it all. In Nsukka, their auntie Ifeoma actually prays for laughter. For Kambili, who's been raised to believe laughter is basically a sin, it's mind-blowing. The idea that joy is something to cherish, something holy enough to ask God for, is completely revolutionary.
So it's in this new world that Kambili and Jaja slowly begin to wake up. Now, Nsukka isn't some perfect paradise, right? There are money problems, there's political unrest, but it's a place where people are free to be themselves. And that freedom starts to plant these little seeds of defiance in both of them.
Which brings us to the novel's central symbol, the purple hibiscus. What's so amazing about it is that it's not a natural flower. It's a creation, an experiment. It represents a new way of being, a mix of old and new, faith and freedom. It's basically a symbol for all the new possibilities that are suddenly opening up for Kambili and Jaja.
And in Nsukka, it's not one big event that changes her. It's all these small but incredibly powerful moments. For the first time, she hears music that isn't a church hymn. She sees her cousins openly argue with their mother, and it's okay. No one gets punished. She's actually encouraged to think for herself. And maybe the biggest thing of all, she finally discovers the sound of her own laugh.
Now, a huge part of this awakening is a young priest named Father Amadi. He is the total opposite of the stern, scary priest from back home. He actually sees Kambili, not as a soul to be saved or a sinner to be corrected, but as a person. He teases her, he encourages her, and for the very first time in her life, he makes her feel worthy of joy.
But here's the thing. You can't just taste that kind of freedom and then go back to the way things work. It doesn't work that way. When Kambili and Jaja return home to Enugu, they bring that spirit of Nsukka with them. They aren't the same silent, obedient kids anymore. And this change, well, it's about to lead to a direct and absolutely catastrophic showdown with their father.
And the climax just explodes. It all goes back to Palm Sunday, the day from the opening of the book. Jaja openly defies Papa. He refuses communion, and that one act just shatters the family's fragile order. Papa's response is unbelievably brutal, but it's that final act of violence that pushes their mother, Mama, to do the unthinkable. To protect her children, she poisons Papa's tea. The consequences of their small rebellions are just horrific. At one point, Papa finds a painting of their traditionalist grandfather, a gift from Nisaka, and to punish Kambili, he pours boiling water on her feet. And what's just bone-chilling is what he says while he's doing it. He truly believes his cruelty is an act of love, that he's saving her soul.
So when Papa dies and the authorities show up, Jaja, who has been silent his whole life, steps forward. He's completely transformed. He takes the blame for the poisoning to protect his mother, sacrificing his own freedom. It's the ultimate act of defiance, the final break from his father's control.
So after all of that, where does the story leave them? Well, it's not a simple happily ever after kind of ending, not at all. The last part of the book is about the aftermath, about exploring the broken pieces of this family and their slow, really uncertain path towards some kind of new future.
And what's so fascinating here is how the very meaning of silence changes for Kambili. The old silence, that was a weapon. It was heavy, suffocating, filled with fear. But this new silence that settles over her and her mother, it's different. It's a quiet space for healing. It's a silence that holds possibilities, one that finally lets her breathe.
Kambili just captures her own transformation so perfectly with this line. Her laughter isn't a sin anymore. She calls it a freedom song. That journey to Nsuka wasn't just a physical trip, it was an internal one. It unlocked her spirit, it unlocked her voice.
So ultimately, the novel shows us that healing isn't about erasing the past. Things are still messy, you know? Jaja is in prison, Auntie Ifeoma's in America, but there's hope. There's a new, more hopeful world being built. Not in spite of all the broken pieces, but from them.
And that leaves us with this huge, central question that the novel forces you to confront. It makes you think, doesn't it? How do you find freedom when the person who causes you the most pain is also the person you love? It's a profound question, and Kambili's journey to answer it is one that really stays with you long after you finish the book.